Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the new weekly for all signs, right? Excuse me. It is the underpinning energy of the week of March 20th through the 26th. We are now entering into Aries in Sun in Aries. So Aries season is upon us. I have an Aries rising, y'all. Um, so, um, we just went through that Virgo full moon. Understand that some of that full moon release energy is still affecting us as we enter into Aries rising. Aries sun season, Aries season. So expect maybe the energy to pick up, activity to get a little bit more dynamic, drive to be reawakened, all of those sort of things. We could be dealing with, more impulsivity or with people around us, within ourselves. So keep that in mind. Each one of these cards will represent for a day or two of the week. They are the underpinning energy. If it doesn't work for you, doesn't make sense, it's not your reading. Please check out the drop-down menu so you know what's going on around here when using my channel, how to get a hold of me if you want to book a private reading. I will be traveling over the next few days, so I may not be in the chats. I'm pre-filming these all back on the 17th, but trying to get them done so that I can release them every day. Traveling. So let's just get into it and see what's going on with this week. So at the beginning of the week, wow, we have the star. So we're still on this kick of major arcana from last week's readings. For those of you that pay attention and watch sequentially with my readings, we've seen 4 major arcana come out at the end of this week, all underpinned by temperance at the end of last week. We also had the magician at the end of the week before in the weekly reading. We're kicking off with the star. The star is Aquarian energy, right? She is peace personified. She is the card that follows after the destruction of the tower, which we saw in the midweek of last week. So expect a quieter start to this week. Expect something more peaceful. Expect probably something that's a little bit more aware within oneself. I also associate the star kind of because she is Aquarian energy, and Aquarius is about the greater collective. There's like sort of a healing quality to the star where either we're healing ourselves or we're healing others just by being who we are, by being available, by being present, by being, just in our zhuzh in a way, right? And appreciating that from a very quiet, silent, um, uh, real place, right? The star isn't necessarily trying to impact you like the sun. She's not trying to confuse you like the moon. She just glimmers, right? She is who she is. She owns who she is. She understands her part in the grand scheme of things, and she understands quite clearly the light that she shines and the importance of that light, right? And there's a peacefulness in that. I love that she kicks off the underpinning energy of the week following temperance, because she would be to me kind of like the female counterpart to temperance, if temperance were like the more masculine male counterpart. Temperance is Sagittarian energy. The star is Aquarian energy. Both are complementary, i.e., Sagittarius is fire, star is air. Air feeds fire and makes fire burn, and fire consumes air, right? So they are complementary. There is this peacefulness that we should be ideally maintaining within our center of who we are at our very, very depths. Does that make sense? And so the star indicates that. So no matter what is going on around us, and we could be in like, full on mayhem situations, right? Or other people could be in mayhem situations. We want to be that like quiet guiding force, that light, that bright light in the sky that allows others to sort of see that I too can be calm, appreciative, and centered, right? As I move through this week. Now let's look at the midweek card. The midweek shit, okay, is the Lovers. The Lovers is the sign of Gemini, another air sign, right? We've got a lot of air energy going on this week. So we're talking about how we communicate, how we think, what thoughts we think, right? This week, ideally, I think, because we're seeing the lovers, first the star and then the lovers is underpinning, this should be a very positive week for us. The lovers often indicates a choice, right? It's always depicted with Adam and Eve and that apple, and should she eat it? And there is this sort of destined feeling to the lovers card of, them being in love and being meant for one another. I don't necessarily always see the lovers as the most romantic card, but it can indicate new romance or connections deepening. But we have to choose that, right? And I believe to make that choice, we need to find that peace that the star offers within ourselves, so we understand ourselves enough and we're clear enough on who we are to connect in a more real and profound way with whatever we're working with, right? Whatever we love. For those of you that are already in love relationships, this is a time to maybe deepen those relationships, not only with yourself through the star, but also with your significant other, with the lovers present. For those of you that aren't interested in a relationship, what is it that you do love? Right? What do you feel connected to? Is it your career? Is it your art? Is it your hobby? Deepen that connection, right? This is that period where I think that within our mind, within our mental realm, and how we communicate what it is that we need, want, and desire, there's a power behind this, and that may be following this full moon, right? We're also entering into Aries season, so Aries is about fire also. So these air sign major arcana cards are going to feed that dynamism of Aries energy to move us forward mentally towards what it is that we want and we desire. But we need to have that sort of clarity, making that conscious choice that, yes, this is what I want. Yes, I'm not afraid. Yes, I'm willing to maybe even take the risk that we see that's happening here with Adam and Eve, right? Although their outcome wasn't necessarily great in biblical terms, doesn't necessarily mean that we won't be great in whatever decisions that we make this week, right? The clarity of the star, I want to say solemnity. I don't know if that's a real word. To me, the star is very quiet. She knows internally, right, who she is, and then she shines that truth outward. And then the lovers brings, to me, more of an environmentally harmonious aspect to us by the midweek that we have to choose to turn towards and envelop and connect to and fall in love with and nurture those connections, whatever they may be, to whether it's another person, another human being, or to something that we love dearly. We have to make that choice and then go after it, right? The end of the week card is 10 of Cups. So this is like sort of the happily ever after card oftentimes. This is about emotional well-being, feeling good. This is a really beautiful underpinning week, I feel like. This is for those of you that are feeling this reading, expect the week to end out very well. Expect the week to end out feeling emotionally complete and whole, not only for you, but for whatever situations, people in your life that you care about. All of that is kind of taken care of in the 10 of Cups. Whatever was completing during the cycle of the Virgo full moon is complete, it feels like. Tens offer up a sense of completion, right? Emotional completion, where all is well. Everybody in the family is well taken care of, looked over, provided for. They have plenty of what they need sort of emotionally. And when we feel all right emotionally, and when we're connected in intellectually or mentally, right, through the star and the lovers, we're able to communicate that. We produce that emotional response, which is the 10 of Cups, which is that protected, emotionally provided for, beautiful experience that should be at the end of the week. Whatever it is that we're working towards, focusing on, sending our love out to in its purest form, and that purity is that star card. I feel like we get to receive by the end of the week, or we get to really live in that, relish in that, own that, and have that, right? That would be the 10 of Cups. And so embrace that and know that this will be a beautiful week, hopefully, for most of you. As long as you keep your thoughts and your communications in line with who you truly are, i.e., that star card, and then make those choices in the midweek based from a place of love rather than from fear or resentment or aggravation. And it's going to lead you to this place of feeling abundantly, emotionally uh, secure. Okay, let's look to Denise Linn's Sacred Destiny Oracle. Oh, here's a different card for us. We've never seen this before, and it is change. What I love about this card is that not only has it got a little bit of a magicalness to it, we see this horse moving through the clouds on by a balloon as if it's being lifted, right, magically through its experience towards the future, right, because the horse is pointing in this direction. And there's a magicalness, a childlikeness to this card because it reminds me of like a Ferris wheel horse, right? But we see that cloud that was hanging over it. Where's my little pointer? This cloud here, there was a cloud hanging over that we are moving away towards. We're moving towards the light. And I think that the light here is in these cards, right? The light is first within ourselves. Then we begin to see the light in the environment around us, in those around us that we love, and we move towards those things. We choose to move towards those things. And then we're really feeling that and understanding that internally within ourselves emotionally. All of this is producing this change in us that's moving us away from clouded, more unclear perspectives and gently sort of moving us forward in an open-minded, kind of almost childlike, imaginative way towards a new day, towards new change, towards new light, towards new opportunities. Does that make sense, guys? I'm also seeing this funny little parallel here where we have this sun here, we have this yellow around this angel, and we have the halo of the angel here and the lovers, and then that star's light there. So moving towards the light, wherever that is for you this week, whatever it is that you love, that is the light for you, right? Moving towards that, making conscious choices and being really connected to who you are is at your deepest, most peaceful depths is really going to be what leads you in such a positive direction. Let me read change to you really quick. It is a new card for us, but I love it. I love the colors of it too. Just makes me feel like this is going to be a very good week. Watch, the cards may go like haywire, but going into the week and into Aries season, we're doing all right. To me, this actually feels rather peaceful for an Aries, kickoff, but hey, it's a nice transition. Let's just take it. So, change is called dancing clouds. Throughout time, people have looked to the heavens for signs, and in the ever changing movement of the clouds, they have seen shapes and forms that seem to be direct messages from the Creator. Clouds are shapeshifters. Their essence is the same, but they can change from mist to rain to ice to snow to water. The transient nature of clouds lends the understanding that life is transitory and ever changing. The sacred landscape wants you to know it's okay to change your mind. It's all right to change directions. You do not need to be consistent. This is the time to push the needs and expectations of others aside and listen to the beat of your own drum. That would be the star guys, and then making that choice in the lovers. You don't need to follow tradition. Create your own traditions. You are free to express yourself and let your spirit fly. Be daring. Go beyond predictable behavior. Just because something has always been done a certain way doesn't mean that it needs to continue to be done that way. You can't control the exact circumstances of your life, but you can control what meaning you give to them. Select meanings that empower you, for this is the time to be carefree, wild, and unpredictable. So the carefree, wild, and unpredictable would definitely be Aries energy. So keeping that in mind, let's go to the grounding stone. Also, I will say this too, that change card brings up this idea of childlike nature, right? And Aries is the child of the zodiac, right? It's seen as the first sign of the zodiac. So it is about child and wonderment and expressing oneself from a very true and honest place. So all of that, but this feels very balanced to me, not impulsive, not aggressive. Does that make sense? Because Aries can sometimes get into that. And just by accident, just by their nature of being so fiery and dynamic. So the grounding stone for this week is on Malachite, which is a communication stone, and it's green, so it's associated with the heart chakra, right? The heart chakra is where our spirit resides, which I think this is what the star is about, knowing our true spirit, choosing to follow that spirit and where it guides us towards whatever it is that we love. As we do that, we're going to feel more emotionally whole and complete and be able to provide for others in ways that we didn't know was possible. We're going to move ourselves towards the light and towards change. But the entire time while we're doing it this week, we're grounding in that heart-centered, compassion-based spirit energy of and communicating that. These first two cards, being air signs, are very much about communication and our thoughts. So when I see this malachite energy stone as our idea for the week, we really need to be conscious and aware of what, and this is the awareness of the star too at the very beginning, because the star is quite subtle in her energy. We need to be aware of where our heart energy is and then work from that place this week. That will be what brings about the optimism and the wonderment and the fulfillment of the Ten of Cups, right? Because we're working from that place of emotional, spiritual connection. We see the spirit in the star. We see the love in the lovers. We see the emotional abundance in the Ten of Cups. All of that is because we're working towards positive change with this heart-centered, grounded energy that we need to maintain this week to have the things, or to move towards the things that we love. Does that make sense? I hope so. That is your weekly. Please tune in tomorrow. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Share it out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful day, you guys. It should be an amazing week, but we'll see how the cards play out. All right, take care. Bye-bye.